What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to take a look at 7 games that I'd love to see at Tokyo Game Show. Now, look, let me be clear. I don't expect to see all 7. In fact, I've said this actually on Twitter. If we could walk away with just one of these, and I'm going to extend my list on Twitter, I only had 5 games. If we could get just one of these 7, I would be happy. I absolutely do not expect more than like 2 or 3 because some of these games I think are very, very much long shots. And some of them I've already made specific videos for. Others, if you guys want, I can make videos specifically on them. I might do it anyway if I feel like it. All right, let's get into some of the big ones. Kingdom Hearts 4. Let's just have that kick off the list. Again, we made a video specifically on this, but this would be in the category of I'd be shocked, my jaw would hit the floor if it was actually there. I think there's a possibility. I don't think it's a high possibility, but I think it is possible, and I just want to see something. It's been a long time. We have Missing Link, which also is literally missing in action. Eventually we'll get these 2 games, obviously Missing Link first, but Kingdom Hearts 4, hopefully we get something just in general in this year. We got an okay amount of information last year, and then all went silent. We knew it was going to go silent, and I kind of had hoped that maybe like they could do more stuff this year. The game could still be many years away. We really don't know. Again, as I've said before, I think this game is closer than maybe some people think it is, but that's literally just my speculation. And by saying that, I mean maybe this game is 2 or 3 years out versus like 5 or 6 years out. So this would be, I'm leading with this because this would be the biggest one in my opinion, but also maybe possibly the most unlikely. Number 2, Persona 6. This one also probably unlikely, but you know what? We are past like almost a year at this point of the game supposedly was going to get announced. It was probably going to get announced sometime last summer, sometime last fall. So we're about a year after the first rumors started going around that the announcement was ready and they pulled it. For whatever reason, they pulled it. And we've gotten rumors on this game that it's probably now like a 2025 game instead of 2024. It was supposed to try to hit late 2024. I think you could absolutely still show it and then just release it, a year and a half from now. Again, this one is probably a long shot just because until we get something, it just feels like a long way out, before we see this game. But at the same time, Atlas has a slot where they're doing some sort of live presentation. At least I believe so. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Anything's possible. Now, they're probably there, and in fact, I think they've even confirmed Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Tactica, right? That's their main, focus when they're there. But why can't they just do like a 30, I'm not asking for much, 30-second tease. Just give us a really small, show us the colors so we finally know what the color scheme of the game is, and that's it. You literally could just leave it there. So again, I think because they'd be focusing on the other Persona games, this one is maybe unlikely, but we're also like it probably should have been announced by now in like an alternate universe. So that's number 2. Number 3, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I made a video specifically on this one, so I'll keep it short. I think this one's actually the most likely. So I'm going with the 2 most unlikely first. And this one, I really do. I think out of my entire list, you'll see the rest of them in a second. I think this one has the highest possibility. This is the one that the game comes out the soonest, right? February, March, April, somewhere in that range. And that April, actually, that's probably only if it gets delayed further. So I think this game has a pretty high shot of being there. I think it looks fantastic. Everything we've seen about this game looks great. We just need a couple more things. Ideally, a release date. That's like the absolute big one. Number 4 is a personal favorite of mine, also seemingly personal favorite of the channel, Stellar Blade. This one is also kind of just like absolute hope. It's not something that I expect to see there at all. Again, because we kind of just haven't seen anything for a very long time. This game was supposed to come out in 2023. Clearly, that's not happening anymore. There have been rumors about this game that it's not in a great state or it wasn't in a great state once Sony kind of entered the picture. So there could be behind-the-scenes reasons why this game has been pushed behind the scenes because it really hasn't been announced in front of us that the game's been delayed or anything. But it would be nice to see another update. We've seen an okay amount, but really not a ton. And again, the biggest thing is it was supposed to come out this fall. Obviously not happening, so they should say something. But again, until we get it, this is another one that kind of just feels like it'll never happen until it does. It's kind of that situation. Number 5, Silent Hill 2 Remake. This is one I wanted to make a video on specifically, and I might still do it. The issue is I don't know if Konami is doing like a live stream presentation. I feel like some sites I actually have looked this up quite extensively. Some have made it seem like they will, but then others have made it seem like they're not. They're just going to have kind of panels, or they'll have like play booths on the show floor. So I don't even know for sure if they're going to do a presentation. If they don't do one, then obviously this is highly unlikely. But if they do have a show, I don't think it's as likely as Final Fantasy VII, but I don't think it's as unlikely as the other ones. Number 6, I'll actually keep it with Konami here, and this was actually brought up to me by Mystery Man over on Twitter, and I 1000% agree. Castlevania anything. So the thing with Castlevania, for those that don't know, Konami, they said all this stuff a long time ago. Not only were they coming back, and not only were there going to be Silent Hill projects and Metal Gear, but they themselves had said Castlevania was part of it. It could be collections of games like we're getting with Metal Gear. It could be a brand new game like we're getting some new games with Silent Hill, but it's going to happen. So my actually response on Twitter, and I'll say it here as well, we will get a new, somewhat new, or I guess collection or remaster, remake. We'll get something new Castlevania. It will happen. It's just, will it happen at Tokyo Game Show? I think the odds are kind of low, specifically because I'm kind of just do Silent Hill at this point. Or do Metal Gear. I mean, Metal Gear actually comes out first. The collection that they're doing in late October, I guess just do that, and then maybe after that, then they hit us with all the Silent Hill games and then Castlevania. But we are going to get Castlevania. It's just a matter of when. And my final game, number 7, is the Resident Evil 4 DLC, Separate Ways. This is one that's long been rumored. It's long been assumed that we were going to get it, considering, you know, the actual base game of Separate Ways, right? So I do think it's going to happen. Again, this is much like maybe Castlevania, maybe like others. It's going to happen. I just feel it in my bones. It's, will they announce it at Tokyo Game Show? I think now is about as good of a time as any. I mean, even if they do it in the same way of like Shadows of Rose, which came out, you know, about a year plus after Village, we're actually coming up on like half a year since Resident Evil 4 came out. So even if you announced it right now and then we didn't expect it, or they even said it, we don't expect it at all until, you know, mid next year, this would actually be a pretty good time for that. So either now or maybe the Game Awards, or obviously, like, I guess any of these games could be announced on their own. But I think this one does make sense just because of the length of time it's been since Resident Evil 4, all the rumors, all the assumptions that it's going to happen, and then the time period of announcing it now and then releasing it, you know, in another half year from now when it makes sense to do so. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Any games that I left out or any comments on the games that I said, let me know. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.